Okay, here we go. This is Rob Keating. I'm from Canberra, Australia. In case you don't know, Canberra is the capital of Australia. It's located about 3 hours drive southwest of Sydney. So I'm here to share about a project I've been working in for about the past 6 weeks. Everyone that I've shared it with and has got involved has actually made money, so that's an important thing. I've been in a lot of businesses over the years. Going back in time, I was a public servant and also I played pro beach volleyball. After many years in the public service, I got to the point where I was ready for change. I was all ready to take long service leave, and I put in my request for long service leave and my boss said, no way. I was in a job that I was the only person in the whole department. I worked at the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. I was the only person that could actually run the payroll, which for many times I told my boss, you need to train someone, you need to train someone. He went, yep, but never did. So when I put in my long service leave and it wasn't approved, I wasn't very impressed. So I decided to pull the pin and I left. But they offered me a lot more money to come back and train people because they were kind of in a situation where they had to have me. So I went back in and my dreams were still put on hold. I wanted to work in a home-based business, spend more time with my kids. So that was another thing. I'd asked for time off, just flex time. Working in the public service, you accrue time that you can then take at a later point. Like you work an extra hour a day, you can take 5 hours off some other time. So I asked to go and watch my daughter performing at an assembly, and the boss said no. So that was another factor that really made me want to just get out of the office environment and work in a home business. So when I finally did escape, I started doing websites for small businesses. I actually went quite well to begin with, and I had several that I had to work on. The problem was I wasn't doing marketing. So when I finished the first lot, I then had no more websites to do, and I was short on income. And then I ended up going back to the public service yet again. But eventually, as I was working as a contractor, the time came where a new government here in Australia came into power, and they decided to stop all contracts for non-ongoing people. So that meant I was out of a job. And I had been doing a multimedia job where I was a photographer and also, so I was working as a multimedia officer doing photography, and my brother had a publication based in Parliament House in Canberra. So I talked to him about providing photography and video services for that, and off I went doing that. But we didn't pull off a lot of income from that, so I had to look for other options. I then tried several home-based businesses, some skincare ones, a shopping one where you got shopping rewards, and also Bitcoin mining, but nothing really earned any decent income for me. So I was still looking around, and then I came across this project, and it was highly recommended from someone I trust. That person had put in a lot of due diligence work. They knew people that had been over to Asia to meet the chief technical officer, visit the office, ask many questions of the programmers and the chief technical officer. So I was quite confident this is a good project to be part of. So before I get into it, as I mentioned, I've been in it about 6 weeks. I'm earning money daily, as everyone does that participates. And I've actually withdrawn money from the wallet, which you're about to discover what it's all about. I have a presentation from a business partner, John Kinnear, which I'll play for you right now, and that will explain it all to you. It runs for about 30 minutes, and at the end of it, I'll be here for any questions you might have. And also I'll play a testimonial from someone else that I know who's doing very, very well in this opportunity. So let's get to the video. Okay, here we go.
I know that what we really all love, of course, is the opportunity to build something. I know that what we really all love, of course, is the opportunity to build something from our homes, to build something from our smartphones. And what we really seem to be fascinated with is the growing transparency of this cloud token project. Opportunities to see some behind the scenes snapshots, screenshots of Binance reports, of VIP climbs up the ladder with the amount of cryptocurrency being traded by this AI that's being used and managed very well by this company. And that's probably why most of you are tuning in. So this is a project that I've been involved with for probably about 2 months, maybe a couple of weeks before that. I was doing my due diligence. And of course, because none of us own the project, and so we have to dig and research just like you have to dig and research. So what we're going to do is give you a bit of a 30,000-foot overview of this presentation. We're not going to go through a lot of detail. What we're going to focus on doing instead is making sure you understand how the project works, a little bit of the origin of the project, and how you can benefit, not only right now, but how you'll be able to benefit moving forward in the future, because that's ultimately the most important thing, why anyone decides to take action on any project. So I've been involved in the home-based business or network marketing industry for jeepers. Ever since I was a kid, I got involved because once I understood this ability for one to leverage themselves, I became really fascinated with the idea of transitioning out of my current profession, which was as a commercial professional photographer that could only earn money when he was taking pictures, me. And so this idea of leveraging myself, being able to earn in multiple ways, was really fascinating to me as a kid. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and how you can benefit from that opportunity now. I will tell you this also, if you're new to the home-based business industry, if this is something you've been looking at from afar, the industry has evolved greatly, and largely behind that, of course, is technology. I don't think it's been any easier to get involved in a home-based project and make money from your computer, make money from your smartphone than it is right now in this moment. Of course, we're dealing with a much more competitive marketplace, but generally legitimate projects will rise to the top like cream. People will be exposed to them, and you'll have genuine opportunities for yourself. So when it comes to due diligence and homework, many of the people, Justin, Luigi, myself, have all had opportunity, and then many of you as well have had an opportunity to listen to this particular gentleman. CTO is, of course, an abbreviation for Chief Technical Officer. This is the Chief Technical Officer for Cloud Token, We're All Live. And he certainly is an individual who has been recognized for his achievements in blockchain development, his achievements in technology. And that was one of the reasons I became quite focused and fascinated on the project, because when we talk about opportunities that we can get involved in, projects from our home, projects from our phone, a lot of times it's coming soon. And I loved the idea that these gentlemen were winning awards for the technology that we're going to be talking about 6 months ago, 12 months ago, on tech that was being developed more than a year ago. And I really like that, because it shows a genuine investment in themselves, in their companies, and then the technology before they bring those things to us. And that's very important, that you have management teams that are prepared to spend money developing what they're developing long before we hear about it. So let's talk about a few of the key things that when I was doing my own homework that fascinated me. One of them, of course, was their resumes, their experience. Of course, access to corporate, I think, is very important as well. But you don't only have access to corporate, you also have access to understanding the various tech companies that these gentlemen own and they run, and how they're all integrated with Cloud Token. You've heard the name BitBeta before, you've heard Arai, and you'll even see a 90-second video using some Arai technology. You've heard about an Australian company, an asset management license. So this is work that's already been done. And when you really do your homework and do digging, it's very easy to identify these core individuals you'll learn more about at the top of all of these companies. This level of recognition is very important as well. And then lastly, the strategic advantages of a utility token versus a security token. Many of you have been exposed to token-based projects in the past, and you've seen in some cases the prices of those tokens as an ICO, initial coin offering, go through the moon. And in many cases, you don't have a technology or a service or any sort of value that matches the incredible rise of a token price and sometimes the hundreds of dollars, and oftentimes the projects collapse under their own weight. Well, that's not going to be the case here because there's a formula for the way this cloud token rises in price. And that, again, was a very big part of my decision-making and deciding to move forward, and we'll talk about that in a moment. When we talk about AI, and the reason AI is such an important part of this conversation is AI is the first way that you're going to be able to profit from this application you download for free on your phone. AI, of course, is an abbreviation for artificial intelligence. And if you are unfamiliar with the trading space, whether it's Forex or commodities or stocks or cryptocurrency trading, AI is standing up and being recognized in a way that has never happened in the past. And it's because we are starting to see learning AIs be able to accomplish things that human traders can no longer accomplish. And that evolution has really just primarily been happening over the last handful of years. But let's talk about a few of the differences between human trading and AI trading and why it's so important if you can attach yourself to a very high quality, high efficiency, high profitability AI, why it's important to do so. First of all, efficiency. There's so much data that is now available in this technological era that just wasn't available even 5 years ago. And that really feeds into an AI's ability to do its job. Secondly, access for everyone. So when we talk about some of the biggest hedge funds in the world or the biggest investment companies and investment banks in the world, much of this tech, even 5 years ago, was only available to super wealthy people. There were barriers to entry that unless you had a net worth of millions of dollars and had experience putting some of that money into work and getting that working for you, you just were left out in the cold. And so access to all is something that I think is a very attractive thing as well. And then specifically cryptocurrency trading, because of the wild swings in cryptocurrency trading, and if you don't have experience with crypto, we often will see the price of BTC and other altcoins rise very sharply and drop very sharply over short periods of time. And for human traders, that often can leave them scratching their heads and sometimes guessing wrong and costing themselves great deals. Well, AI also does a wonderful job of managing in this particular area where emotions can really be a liability in the trading space. And then lastly, reducing risk. So we're really talking about reams and reams of information as opposed to using gut instincts, which of course, over the long haul is going to have a significant impact in reducing your risk as a participant. So let's talk very quickly. I'm going to give you, remember I said I was going to give you a 30,000 foot overview. Let's talk about how the project works. Very simply, as I said before, anyone can download this application absolutely free. And then, of course, when they download it absolutely free, whether it's on Google Play or the Apple iStore, very simply to become a member, you'll need a referral code. So that's going to connect you to the person that shared Cloud Token with you. Once that's done, of course, you will have the opportunity not only to fund your own AI and become generating or start generating with that AI, but again, as an overview, you also have the ability then to mention this to anyone you choose. They can also download this application absolutely free. You give them your referral link and you have an opportunity to benefit significantly. Now the slide says 10% per month. That's not exactly true. There's actually a range between 6 and 12% is what's published from the company, and that's generally what we're repeating to others. We're using 10% as very simple math, nothing more. But 6 to 12%, why such a big range? Well, trading is not a perfect science. And so that range is absolutely essential to make the system function properly. But here's where things get very exciting, is you have an opportunity when you have friends download that app for free and they use your referral link, when they also choose to load the AI and begin benefiting themselves, you have an opportunity for a 100% match of their trading gain. Now, that's very, very significant because if you're earning, let's say on average 10% per month, and you were to share this with 10 people, which is a much easier thing to do when you're sharing an app that they download for free, well, you're now getting all of your capital back every single month. And we're going to talk a little bit about risk management at the end of this, but this is a wonderful way to make sure that your risk management comes all the way down to zero. What better way to be involved in a business than to have absolutely no risk to you? So we'll talk more about that in a moment. But it doesn't stop there, because when your friends recommend to others, you still benefit significantly with a 50% match on anyone that shows up in what we call your level 2. And then, of course, 5% for level 3, and there are many levels beyond that. But for a simple overview, we won't go into that detail right now. And then how you simply convert what you're generating, which is CTO, Cloud Token, and we're going to talk more about that in a moment, is you'll have an opportunity then to convert that to an altcoin that I know all of you have heard of, which is called Ethereum. Very easy and very quick thing to do. And then you can pull that into your third-party wallet, whichever wallet you use, whether it's Coinbase, Blockchain, Gemini, it really doesn't matter. Or we know that coming up, because we've already gotten some sneak peeks on the opportunity. Now, this is not a legitimate or a real Cloud Token card. It's simply a mock-up to let you know that this will be an option available to you moving forward later this year. So you can also convert CTO to fiat currency and use the ATM global ATM network to convert those Cloud Tokens into paper money. So that'll be a very easy way for you ultimately to pull your profits right out of your application. We actually call them your rewards. You're receiving CTO as a reward. So before we dive any deeper into the AI performance itself, let's give you a bit of a crash course on the utility versus security token. We talked about one of the significant benefits. And one of those significant benefits is that hype, which is often not backed by substance. Hype is not always a great thing. Hype is not going to be the determining criteria of the price of CTO. The price of CTO is actually determined directly with the results that are being generated by the AI divided by the number of CTO that actually exist. And that gives us then the size of the withdraw or reserve pool, which determines the price of your utility token. So think of a utility token as a very specific token that has to perform a function. And you acquire utility tokens, in this case CTO, not just to convert to Ethereum, but rolling into the future, you'll have many ways to spend those utility tokens, not only with large name brand online merchants, but also being able to bring those into your local economy as our point of sale or retail or brick and mortar network starts to span out beginning at the end of this year and then well beyond that. In fact, you'll probably hear in some announcements, some of the partners like PundiX that Cloud Token is partnering with are absolute experts in their field. And this is one of the things when I was doing my due diligence, I paid a lot of attention to. Sometimes, maybe because of a lack of experience, you'll have CEOs of network marketing companies say things like this. And you let me know if you've ever heard anything like this. We're going to be the next Amazon. We're going to be the next whomever that's an absolute giant. I don't think that there's a dumber thing a CEO could possibly say than we're going to be the next Amazon. I mean, you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company that took 30 years of hardcore development, and you're going to start a network marketing company and you're going to eclipse Amazon. It really just tells me that in many cases, people are often biting off more than they can chew. And one of the things that I was really impressed with Cloud Token was instead of trying to be everything to all people, and instead of trying to create all these things themselves, they're partnering with companies that are already very, very good in particular fields. And that's a very smart way to move forward effectively in business. So let's talk a little bit more about this AI. First of all, the name of the AI is Jarvis, and you can see from the smartphone on the right-hand side that you can load Jarvis with a number of different cryptocurrencies, from Ethereum, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and the list goes down as you scroll down. You also have an opportunity with the order history to take a look at some recent trades that the AI is performing. You will probably have heard that Binance is a very significant part of where this activity is happening, but Binance only makes up about 40% of the total AI trading activity. Why is that? Well, very simply, all exchanges have market caps, volume caps, and so to trade the kind of volume that Jarvis wants to trade, they actually have API keys. And if you're unsure what that means, very simply, it is a digital way to connect to the exchange itself. Remember we talked about the sending of data? Well, data needs to come from each exchange for the AI to do its job trading. So they have 32 different sets of exchange or sets of keys for 32 different exchanges. And this really provides them an opportunity for wonderful growth and gain to really let the AI flex its muscles and do what it's doing best. It's also important for you to understand that this is not simply something they bought for a few bucks and plugged into a phone app. This actually has professional traders behind the scenes, and this actually has a professional technical team behind the scenes also, monitoring and making sure that it constantly not only does its job, but has the opportunity to grow and learn from past results. So I'm going to give you an example very simply here. When you deposit into your AI, here's the 6 to 12% we mentioned earlier. You can withdraw at any time. This is very important. And the way you would do that, I'll give you an example. You see in the screenshot under Jarvis image, it says Bitcoin 0.105 and then some other digits. If you chose to actually cancel your account, withdraw, you would simply click that pale blue box that has BTC, slide it to the left, and it would give you instructions on how to withdraw. That's how easy it is. There are no contracts. You're not bound to this in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to give you an example. Here's a bit of an above average example. This is if you had, let's say, $20,000 working for you in your cloud token wallet. You certainly do not need to have this amount of money traded in your AI. For as little as $500, you can actually begin trading and benefiting from the sharing side. If you want to start with less than $500, you can absolutely do that as well. You just don't have an opportunity to benefit from the sharing side of things. So we're going to use that average 10% again. $20,000 in this example would pay you $2,000 per month, but it actually breaks things down a little further than that because you're going to receive that $2,000 equivalent in daily payment. So it's a daily payment, but you're going to be receiving CTO, which is their utility token. Why is that a big deal? Well, from when we first launched officially, which was mid-May, we're just a bit past that in mid-July, so a little more than 2 months now officially, we've seen our CTO price go beyond 45 cents. So from a launch price of 30 cents to 45 cents, well, that's a 50% increase. So if you're already receiving between 6 and 12%, and you are being paid in an asset that's increasing in value, well, now you have an opportunity for 2 times of growth, which can be very significant for you. If you add the third option, I'm going to share with you just in a moment, and that's that sharing reward, this is where you see sometimes opportunities where people are generating incomes that may seem absolutely mind-blowing to you. $200 a day, $500 a day, $1,000 a day, $50 a day is a life-changing income. $50 a day for many people would pay their mortgage or clean off their credit cards or handle a car payment. Well, these types of things are absolutely possible when you stack on appreciating assets to a daily payout, 6 to 12%, to an opportunity to increase the entire thing by sharing this application with others. So in this particular example, you would see 4,000 CTO per month, 2,000 monthly, a little bit less than 50 cents, 4,000 CTO per month. Remember that number, 4,000 CTO per month. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to get to the same place. Because in the last example, we showed a fairly significant deposit into the AI of $20,000. But if you were going to deposit much less, let's say $500 or $600, I'm going to show you a way to get to that same 4,000 CTO, but you just do it in a very different way. And that's you're taking advantage of this sharing bonus. This is key. So you notice on level 1, you get a 100% match of the trading results of anyone you share this with. And like we showed you before, 50% for level 2, and then 5% for levels all the way down to 3 to 21. How far you go in those levels really depends on how many people you share the application with. We also have what we call as rank promotions. And so the first significant rank promotion happens what we call C1 or Cloud 1. And that's when the entire business from you down, from your referral code down, eclipses 200,000 US dollars in amount in volume or cryptocurrency that's being traded in the AI. And then you can simply expand beyond there, and that just continues to add to your total. So remember, we talked about 4,000 CTO per month. Well, that would get you approximately 50,000 CTO per year. Now, you can get there by putting larger amounts in the AI or by smaller amounts and then sharing that with others. Well, I want you to imagine if we saw, for example, a 50% increase in our first 2 months, it stands to reason that perhaps we could see a $3 CTO price before the end of the year. If we did that and you had accumulated 50,000 CTO, well, congratulations, your first year is $150,000 a year. That's very, very significant for an application you download for free on your phone. Secondly, if we saw a CTO price continue to $6 during the course of the year, of course, we don't know for sure where it's going to go because it depends on a number of factors that are obviously beyond our control, and that's the profitability, not only of the AI, but the other features that get rolled into the company as well. Well, $6 would see you have a $300,000 first year. So there are very, very significant opportunities for anyone who gets involved. Now let's talk about a couple of the key features. If you do have home business experience, there are no packages for you to buy. Very simply, your level of involvement is based on the cryptocurrency value that you put into the AI for trading. There are no membership fees. There's no monthly auto ship. Remember, there's no contracts. You can cancel or withdraw at any time. You can absolutely benefit from passive. Remember, that's the 6 to 12%. Plus, as a passive participant, you're still benefiting from being paid in an appreciating asset, which is CTO. And then lastly, how you're generating or how the company's generating, it is actually from real trading. So for those of you who have been around the block, who have been involved in businesses before, maybe you've been involved in a product-based business where there's a monthly auto ship. One of the things that's very exciting to a lot of people with previous experience is you can have friends that load some cryptocurrency into the AI one time only, but you as the sponsor continue to get paid month after month after month. How can the company afford to do that? Because there's real trading and real profits. It's a really smart business model. So with that, I want to transition into two more things to quickly share with you. We'll be done in about 5 minutes. I want to give you just a bit of an insight as to the long-term objective or goal for this program, because this is really important. And anytime that any of us want to get involved in anything, we want there to be long-term aspirations for the company. The last thing anyone who calls and has a chance to talk with corporate team, the last thing anyone wants to hear is corporate team talk about an exit strategy after 12 months or 24 months or 36 months. That just shows a lack of interest in them in maintaining their business model long time, or perhaps a lack of belief that they have in their business model. This is something that we feel has an opportunity to run for a prolonged period of time, and that's largely because of the amount of time and energy that's already gone into some of the technology the cloud has partnered with. And Arai, I'd mentioned before, is one of those companies. So if you wanted to grow a very extensive user base, what would you do? Well, you'd offer free download of your application, of course, and then you'd offer real value for anyone who participates for two reasons. One, to keep their level of involvement, but also to reward them if they chose to share your application with others. And that's exactly what we've seen happen. More than 400,000 downloads after 60 days post official launch. 400,000 downloads. Now, obviously, we know the aspirations for cloud is to get that number into the millions. Now, as you can imagine, when we start partnering with other successful companies, imagine what kind of weight that brings to the conversations when you have 400,000 downloads after 60 days and you're starting to climb into the millions into your first year. Large programs would be very happy to be doing business with you. So now what we're ultimately talking about is fourth generation blockchain. If that means nothing to you, I'm going to show you a video right now. As I said before, it's only 90 seconds long, but this could be one of the most important 90-second videos that you watch this year. First gen blockchain was what? It was Bitcoin blockchain. Second generation was Ethereum, and the Ethereum blockchain brought some new technological developments, the ability to build on top of the Ethereum blockchain. What was the third gen? It was some of the lighter, the faster coins that were trying to do what? They were trying to increase the TPS, the transactions per second. What is the end game ultimately? Is not only for us to be able to pay things from smartphones, but be able to use cryptocurrency and not fiat money to pay for things from our smartphones. Remember, it was Bill Gates that said Bitcoin and the concept of cryptocurrencies will do more to pull the world out of poverty than any other technological development since the era of the internet era, since the beginning of the internet. And it's this ability for us to share money or to give money or to send money one another without getting third-party permission, without getting PayPal's permission, without getting your bank's permission, without getting Western Union's permission, without getting Visa or MasterCard's permission. It's a absolutely wonderful thing. So let me show you this fourth gen blockchain because it is a huge departure from the three examples we gave earlier, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the alternate altcoin strategies, because you'll see a huge increase in this transactions per second. And specifically, we get into comparing to Visa and MasterCard. If we're going to bring any technology to market, and it is really going to receive any opportunity, any chance for global adoption, we at the very least have to be able to match the services and the speeds of technology that we already use, which would be Visa, MasterCard, debit, Instant Pay, etc. So Visa MasterCard network processes at about 27,000 transactions per second. Now let's take a very quick look at this video. I'm going to be quiet for a moment because for 90 seconds there's an audio track here for you to listen to.
Hello everyone, this is Anthony. I'll be doing a demonstration on how Aura blockchain technology works. I have 4 mobile phones here. They have downloaded the Aura application. Let's say I will choose this guy to be the merchant, and he'll be selling tea, right, at $888, expensive tea, generating the QR, and this is the customer buying the tea. You can see when I scan the QR code, it's waiting for transaction confirmation. So when I press OK, what you will see is that the merchant and the customer will do the transaction with a witness in the network witnessing the transaction. So I press OK, and you can see the transaction and the witnessing happens. From here, you can see that the transaction is already written onto the blockchain. And the witness have a witnessing fee, right? That is $2,999, which is this guy here. So if you go to the fee, you can see that we currently set at 1%, so he received $8.88. You can see it's also written on the blockchain, right? So now what we're going to do here is we're going to run a simulation for 1,000 mobile devices, right? So the entire Aura blockchain technology is actually running on mobile phones. There is no servers, there is no miners, and yep, we have 1,000 connected devices. And you can see from here, we are transacting at 26,974 transactions per second. All the transactions are written on the blockchain. The fees, the transaction itself, right? So the more users on Aura, the faster and more transactions we can process. So this is perhaps the fastest blockchain for transactions ever. Well, that's all for today. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, a couple things I want to point out very quickly as we wrap up. First of all, you take a look at the light purple box on the top right-hand side, 30387. This is transactions per second. Now, what's remarkable about this is we now have a legitimate cryptocurrency-based solution that would be fast enough for you to walk into your local corner store and pay for a pack of gum. You could never do that with Ethereum blockchain. You could never do that with the Bitcoin blockchain. And this movement away from miners and mining infrastructure and getting miners to authenticate or approve transactions and all of the cumbersome, the burden and the cost that's attached with that way of doing things, you truly are seeing an evolution in a very exciting technology. Now, there are other companies. I would say there's probably 100 companies, if there's one, that are working on creating these solutions. I personally spent 10 BTC to get involved in Hyundai's HDAC program. Now, HDAC, obviously, they did an ICO launch. They raised about $300 million. And of course, once they finish proving out their technology, what do they have to do? They're going to have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in global advertising campaigns to try to get people to buy into their technology. What's cloud going to do? Well, they're already going to have probably multiple millions of users that make up the mobile database that want to start using that technology right out of the gate. So I have to be honest, as a former business owner, I really appreciate and I prefer this approach where they're building the database, rewarding us for helping them build the database, and then when the tech is ready to roll out, we're all ready to roll out with it. All right, last thing I want to share with you is this, and this is very important, and we talk about managing risk because nor Justin, nor Luigi, or nor myself own this company, and some of the best laid plans can go awry. And so one of the things we always want to talk about is you, as you accumulate CTO, convert enough of that CTO that matches what you have trading in the AI, withdraw that, put that back in your jeans, or you remove that to your external wallet. And again, this is one of the best ways, not only for you, but for your friends to manage risk. And one of the fastest ways for you to get there is very simply to refer this application to your friends as well. Give them the opportunity to participate. And with that, I want to say thank you very much for your time and attention. It's greatly appreciated.
Okay, so here I am back live, and thanks, John, for that great presentation. So another video I have for you that goes for about 6 minutes is from Justin Halliday. He's one of the people that I know through working on this project. He's having fantastic results. He works very hard to achieve them. So I'll just play his video.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Justin Halliday here, and welcome to the page. And let me be the first to personally thank you for just taking a few minutes out of your day to understand and get some details about what we've got going on. Now, for those of you that do not know me, I know a lot of people coming to this page are from my social media and friends and family. But for those of you that do not know me, I am down here in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm married. Work from home, married to my wife for 7 years, originally from New Jersey. We've been down here for 4 years. I have 3 children. I have Jonah, who just turned 6, Zachariah, who is going to turn 4, and Jude, who is 6 months. Now, what you're about to see on this page has literally changed our life. We have been job-free for about 6 or 7 years. We've been in different business ventures, some great, some good, some not so good, but we have not been involved in anything as lucrative as this, ever. We got involved a little over 3 months ago. In fact, a friend of mine had sent me some information, and for a good solid 2 weeks, I kept telling him no. I kept telling him, no, I'm not interested, for a couple of reasons. First of all, we had other projects going on, and my time was being allocated to build a few other businesses, and I didn't really need anything else. Number 2, this is cryptocurrency based, and we just weren't ready to get back involved in cryptocurrency. We just weren't ready. But I'm glad I did some research, and I'm glad I jumped in. And so about 3 months ago, we downloaded this app on our phone. And for 3 months, we have literally been sharing it with everyone. Now, has everyone downloaded it and got involved? No, but we've shared it with everyone, and it has really paid off. We started making about $100 a day, and then $200 a day, and then $400 a day, and then $800 a day, and currently right now we're making a little over $1,000 a day. That's every day, guys. I mean, you can see it right here. I'm a full transparency guy. I mean, you can see the tokens come every single day. You can see we have a total of 128,000 tokens right now. The token price is at 47 cents. It started at 30 cents. The app officially launched on May 12th. You don't have to be a techie. You don't have to know how cryptocurrency works. You don't have to, none of that nonsense. All you have to do is either have some Bitcoin or some Ethereum sitting somewhere on one of the exchanges and send it to the app, or just ask me, I'll help you get some. It's very, very simple. They're going to be launching a travel platform in here that's going to allow us to purchase our flights and our hotels, resorts, and cruises with these tokens. You can see right there, I guess at the top, I think you can see that, right? Let me see if I can get that. Okay, $60,000. We just got more tokens today. Our tokens, by the way, come down every day at 4 o'clock. Now, we didn't start with a bunch of money. Some people are asking me, Justin, do I need thousands of dollars to get involved? No, you don't need thousands of dollars. When we started, I think it was April 12th, we started with just $550, guys. That's it. We put $550 worth of crypto in this thing. We literally started sharing it with everybody, and this is what it's been able to do for us. Again, you're looking right there at $60,000 is in our wallet. We've already cashed out about 20,000 of that, so we've made a little over $80,000 in just 3 months from just sharing it. You'll have a referral code In fact, below this video is a little 4-minute explainer video that's going to go over how we benefit from sharing it with others. Below that, there's a button to the website. The app is in the Google Play and the Apple Store, so it's completely legit. You can download it right from one of those stores. There's a referral code below this. You're going to click on create account. You're going to plug that referral code. Guys, there's even a couple of setup videos for your setup and security. For those of you that have never done anything in the crypto space, this is a great place for you to get started. They're also coming out with a merchant network that's going to be in the app, so we're going to be able to shop online and spend these tokens. There's also a video below here that shows me converting some of these tokens into Ethereum and then cashing it out. Last month we cashed out about $8,000 worth of these tokens. Guys, this app has given me the ability to go to Asia. Last month I went out to Asia. I had an opportunity to sit down with a chief technology officer myself and look him eye to eye across the table and understand his vision. Mobile banking, crypto to fiat, all of this is coming. Travel, e-commerce. This app is going to be around for a long time, guys. So download the app, plug in the referral code, message me if you have any questions at all. And again, thanks for taking some time out of your day to simply learn a little bit more about what we're doing. Take care.
Okay, so that was Justin Holliday. He's in America, as he mentioned, and he's doing fantastically well in this project. How does he do that? He works hard, he shares the app with people, and that's something you can do. Or, as John mentioned, you can put in money and just earn rewards. You don't have to recruit, you don't have to chase people, but if you are into recruiting, there's tremendous value in doing so. You'll be well rewarded. Is this project something that will be around for a long time? As John mentioned, it's most likely, but there are no guarantees with this type of thing. But from all the information that we've seen, it's a highly transparent project, something where people are meeting the actual people behind it, which is not often the case. Quite often there's just the name behind a project and you never actually see the people involved. The token price, they show how that's determined. It's not inflated. It's based on the reserve money to be able to pay out people that are holding money in the wallets. So what do you do next? If you're wanting to get involved in the project, you go to, I'll just pop up something for you. So I'm not sure if you see that or not, but I've just clicked up an offer for displaying information that you need. Anyway, you go to visit https://cloudtokenwallet.com. You do that on your phone because this is an app. You can't view it on the computer unless you have an emulator to pretend you're using a phone. So you go to Cloud Token Wallet. You will then be presented with several options depending on the type of phone you have, either an app from the App Store, Apple App Store, or you can use the Google Play Store or click on the Android button. You download the app, and then there's a link that says create an account. You create a password, which they call a PIN. Then you create a payment PIN, which is a 6-digit number like your ATM PIN. Then you have a mnemonic phrase. 12 words will be presented to you. You have to write them down. So remember, write them down because you need them at some other stage as well, and also in the setup stage. Once you click next after you've written them down, they'll be jumbled and you will have to tap the screen to bring in the words in the same order. And once you've done that, you've created your account. You also will need to create a link to a Google Authenticator app. What that does, it creates numbers at random, which when you're asked for in the Cloud Token app, you go over to the Google Authenticator app, see what the number is, and enter that into the Cloud Token app. That's for added security, because if you happen to lose your phone or someone hacks in and they get into your app, you also, well, if you lose your phone, it's going to be with the app, but anyway. it's added security, so hopefully you have your phone locked down so people can't get it. And that's all you do to have the actual app. As John mentioned, it's free. You can check it out before committing to put funds into it. The amount of money you put in, it's up to you. You can start with $1, but you won't earn that much. 10% of $1 is not going to do much for you, but you can at least see the app in action. $500 if you want to share it with other people and earn commissions, or you can put in $100 and earn $10 a month. Let that tokens accumulate. Over time, they might go to $5, $10, $100, who knows? So that can become some decent money if you want a low-risk, long-term strategy. As John mentioned, the best way to lower your risk is put in the $500 and then share the app with other people. So that's one way. Another way is if you've got quite a bit of money sitting around, you can actually put money in, earn your tokens over a month, and then take out your capital and then just let your tokens sit there and appreciate. So that's one way, where you risk your money just for 1 month. So that's an option to think about. So anyway, it's time to coming up to 47 minutes, just over 47 minutes. So I don't want to be here for too long. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I hope you're interested in sharing this app and earning money from it. That's a great way to do it. It's one of the best home-based businesses I've ever been involved in. Everyone earns money that puts in money. Now, if you do a bit of research and type in what a lot of people type in, that's cloud token scam, of course you will find people saying this is a scam. Why is that? Quite often it's because they have something they're pushing themselves and they want to promote their product, and they just call this out as a scam because they know a lot of people are looking at it. There's also other articles where people just think any multi-level marketing type arrangement, that's a scam, so I'm going to call it out as a scam. They don't bother to look into the facts of how money is generated and see that the money's coming from trading, or if they hear that it is coming from trading, they just simply don't choose to believe it. So you're always going to have people writing things are a scam. So it's up to you, but as we've pointed out, people have personally met Ronald I, the Chief Technical Officer. They've met the traders, they've been to the office, they've seen trades being made. A lot of due diligence has gone into this project, and people are happy to invest. But if you limit your risk, don't get greedy, there's money to be made. And it's about helping people in in third world countries to actually have banking facilities. Like in Indonesia, so many people don't have access to banking. So this is opening up banking to the world. It's making crypto assets able to be used for everyday transactions, which at the moment, Bitcoin, you just can't go into a Starbucks and order your coffee and pay instantly. You can actually use crypto for a lot of payments, but there's like a 10-15 minute delay for your transaction to actually be approved. So the Cloud Token project is working to eliminate that problem. And as you earn the tokens, as you have seen, you can actually spend them, or will be able to in the merchant network that's going to be rolled out. So we're in the Cloud Token accumulation phase. You want to earn as many as you can, and then later on you'll be able to spend them. So once again, to get the app, visit cloudtokenwallet.com on your phone, or you can actually go to the App Store and search for CTO Cloud Wallet. And the referral code, which you'll need, either email me and ask for it, or I'll tell you now. I'm not sure if it's showing on the screen because I don't see it on my version, but there's supposed to be an offer showing. My referral number is 526-125-1709. Copy that. Oops, I clicked on the link back here. You won't see that, but I jumped away. I'll just copy the code. 1 minute. Copy chat to everybody. Typing in the referral code. Pasting it in. Bang. So if you see the chat, there's the referral code. And once again, it's 526-125-1709. And with that, I will say thanks for watching. This is Rob Keating in Canberra, Australia. I hope you have a great day, night, whatever it is from where you're watching in the world. See you later.